Okay, another dev vlog. It's a little early, 2 days later, but I've made quite a few big changes since the last video. And I've solved the loud music while recording problem. Sorry about that. Okay, first off, let's take a look. It's a lot of purple, I know. I'm trying to get the color palette working, so that's a work in progress. If I run the game, you'll see there's some significant changes. I've pretty much I think I'm finished with level 1, the first level that there is. I'm going to make that a bit bigger. Turn the volume down here on the speaker. So, the purple is a bit overwhelming. I still have to fine-tune the colors, but it's just to get a general idea of the palette once I'm ready to commit to the color. So the player, for context, I've decided to go with sort of a space theme. So it's going to be like an astronaut who landed on this planet and he basically has to get out. So I'm trying to integrate more like purplish and green colors and some silver and gray for objects. So you'll see the tutorial sign is now silver with a little yellow highlight. The tiles I redid in Sprite. Again, not an artist, so it's doing a lot of googling trying to get color palettes going. But this is the palette for the sprites, for the tiles. I've used the base that there was and just sort of redrew them with my own colors. Added some green that contrasts nicely with the purple, I think. And then I also drew some backgrounds. I just thought it kind of looks cool. I accidentally got the shape going and it just looked like a weird alien with a big nose. So there's an alien with a big nose sort of standing proudly and short one, and yeah, it doesn't really mean anything. I just thought it would look kind of cool. You'll actually see in the game I set up some parallax backgrounds using the default Godot parallax background object. Tweaked it a little bit, not quite happy with it. I would like it to be a bit higher so you can see a bit more of it like to the center of the screen. I've also added a jump sprite, so you can see when he jumps he sort of has his tiny little mouth like he's anxious, waiting for something to drop. Okay, so this is pretty much the first level. I'm fairly happy with this. The checkpoints are just boxes at this point. So if I do die, I restart at the checkpoint. So that needs to change to something else. So the first level is just to get you used to all the elements of the character. So here you can jump, and then I tell you about the double jump because you can't actually get up here with a regular jump, so you have to double jump. Same here. So sort of forcing the player to use the double jump. And added some spikes at the top to make it a little more challenging. You can actually get over here with a single jump, but I hope people will try and double jump instead. Alright, and then that's pretty much the end of that level. Like, it just goes on. You get over the spikes. Ooh, that was close. Another checkpoint. Oh, I've actually given the checkpoints indexes. So the first one would be index 1, this would be index 2. So if I die, I restart at the second one. If by some chance I go back in the level and reach the previous checkpoint, I'll still start at this one, because this was the last checkpoint. And then we've got some more double jumps, forcing the player to get used to it. And same here, you have to double jump to get over, and then get the key to finish the level. And that's it. Of course, the flag needs to change. Maybe I'll leave it a flag, just change the color a bit to like a whitish color. And that's sort of the first level. Now, in the last one, I struggled with the timer. If I finish the level now, you'll see I actually got the timer working. It shows the time both timers have stopped. And I sort of achieved that. It was actually pretty easy. Play the timer. So I had a script here for time start and autoplay true or false, which is an export variable. So I can set autoplay to true or false. If autoplay is true, I start at the current time. Otherwise, we can assume that the timer is stopped, right? Because if we're not autoplaying, the timer won't run. So it's stop. Then I connect to the level complete event. So here I get the base level and I connect to the level complete event. And then on level complete, we set the timer to stopped, so it doesn't actually run. And then we update the label with the set time label. This is a public method. And then that's just the format. So if I open the base level, if I remember correctly, I instance the level complete scene. So if I go to level complete, there we go. I initialize the play time, so I create a new scene. I preload it over here. Then I create a new scene. Then I check if there is a timer in the current game. If there's no timer, I just return 0. If there is a timer, I get the timer's elapsed time, and I simply set it where? Somewhere. There we go. There we go. And I also set autoplay to false. So that's how I achieved showing the timer on the level complete scene. So I instance new scene, make sure it's not autoplaying. Let me just zoom in a little bit for you guys. It's probably really tiny. And yeah, that was how I did that. Actually pretty okay. Happy with how it turned out. I'll see if I can tweak this a little bit. Then the checkpoints was actually pretty easy. I've got 2 scenes. So the initial checkpoint, and that is the checkpoint index, which is a public variable. So I can set that there. And then I emit the position of the checkpoint and the current index. So the base level will actually hook into this and update the spawn position of the player. So if I go to the base level, it starts with the spawn position of 0, 0. Then I get the global position of the player and I set that to the spawn position. But when I reach a checkpoint, should be towards the bottom, on checkpoint reached, if the checkpoint that was currently reached, right, so if we emit the checkpoint index over here in the checkpoint file, so if the checkpoint that was currently reached, sorry, I should be on the base level. If the checkpoint that was currently reached is greater than the last checkpoint reached, we can update the last checkpoint index and set the spawn position to the new position, which is the position of the global position of the checkpoint. So we only update the spawn position of the player if we've reached a later checkpoint. So we don't end up with a situation where a player checks the previous checkpoint when he's already checked a later checkpoint. And that was probably the biggest changes, the visuals and the checkpoint and the timer since the last run. So I've actually I was playing around with some level design on the 3rd level. Again, this is just messing around. The only one that's really finished is the first one, so we can just do a little run through, jump over the spikes. I'm trying to think if I should force the user to read this. They have to dismiss it with a button. I'm actually thinking I want to do that, but I'll see if that's a nice to have or a must have. Reach the checkpoint. It's a little jaggy, but it's only when it's running in development mode. Since it's running from the engine I'm recording the screen, I don't have the most amazing specs on my computer. So it's feeling a little jaggy, but it's not like that when I build it out. Alright, so double jump, double jump, double jump. And you can see at this point, the backgrounds are completely gone. And I'm trying to find a way to avoid that from happening, because I've gone up in the scene, well, in the viewport rather. I still want to see some backgrounds. It's feeling a little empty, so I have to try and figure that out too. So reach the end, nothing exciting here, reach the end, and this is the one that I was talking about, the next level. So I was playing around with some mechanics, and here we can see we've got our tree, we've got our key up there, so if I try and finish the level, need a key to move on, but I can't get to the key here, so I actually have to go up, pull the lever, open the door, and I think it can make for some interesting gameplay. Of course, I'm not, like I said in the previous video, I'm not building this game to take over the gaming indie industry. That's absolutely ridiculous. I just want to make a game that's fun to play and that I actually finish, you know, that I can publish on wherever the case might be. Sort of a personal goal more than anything else. And I think it's starting to shape up to be something that I feel like is okay for a first game. For someone who's never really done real game development before. So this to me is perfect. Just the UI needs to be updated. It looks a little, I don't know, too purple. And this green on the buttons is kind of gross, and it's conflicting with this green from the tree, which is from the old sprite sheet. So this needs to change to something that looks a bit more alien-like. The same for the mushrooms. And I think then I'll be okay. Now if we take a peek at the Trello board. Close this out. What have I been up to? I've got some inspiration here. So here you can see this is where I got the main inspiration for the tile set. Of course, this is way nicer than what I can do, but it's pixel art, I say to myself. That's sort of where I got the inspiration from. Yeah, and these are some concepts that I kind of liked. Some characters that I might think of, you know, these are kind of cool. And the astronaut, I kind of like the idea of an astronaut, so I'm trying to think of better ways to make this look a bit more like an astronaut. I was thinking of giving him some sort of hair, just to make him look a little more, less like a, I don't know, like a thumb, I guess. Give him some hair. Then we've got the fun little second jump sprite sheet. And then I also want to have a win condition, like a win animation. Maybe he's typing on some sort of tablet when he reaches the door. Right, then, yeah, that's it. So these are the two things I fixed. Save game is still something I have to do. I actually want to nuke this because I'm pretty happy with the design for level 1. And I initially thought mountain themed, snow themed, but I'm not even going to do that. They're all just going to be the same theme, the purple. Just because it's my first game ever and I'm not going to overcomplicate this. So I'm cutting down on things. And then I'm actually going to add a new list here, nice to haves. I initially used the Moscow method to determine what goes where, but since I've moved it to this, so this, definitely nice to have. This sort of work in progress. Score, nice to have. Tweak movement, it feels pretty good. If I have time, I can tweak it some more. Additional hazards, maybe. Enemies, maybe. Yeah, nice to have, nice to have. No, I have to add it. I just have to redesign the enemy. So let's redesign enemy. That's a must, right? I have to do that because I can't use the enemy that's there. It completely conflicts with the design of the level. This is also design and some mechanic. No, not really mechanic. Code, I suppose. But let's leave the purple for any code related stuff. Let's give the light blue for music, or let's just do sound. Credits, yeah, I want this there. I want credits. So what would that be? Code, yeah. I know mechanic's probably not the right word. It's more code, but let's do that. How long have we been going for here? 14 minutes. Yeah, okay. Let's see if we can do something small. We can start with the credit scene. So let's go back to the game, make sure it's not running. Let's create a new scene. Let's do, oh, whoops, that's not right. Let's do canvas layer. That seems to be where all the visuals go. Well, I've been doing this in the tutorial, so it's not even sure if this is the right thing to do. And then we can create a margin container. Let's do the layout, full rectangle. Let's save it, scenes, and let's call this credits. Alrighty. Now what? I have no idea what to do here. Is there like I saw something that's rich text label that displays rich text. I'm wondering if I can just use this. So I want the background just to be like black. No funny business, right? I think we did 8 for the others. I can attach the theme, but then everything's going to be purple again, and I don't actually want that. Oh, we have to add a panel. That's right. The panel, we can set the background color. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, okay, so let's remove the margin from here. Hello. And then add a panel, and in there we can add another margin container, and then we can put spacing on this one. So size, expand, right? No, fill? Why does it not fill? I still honestly don't know how this works. I feel like I do know, but then should I make this also full rectangle and then do the overrides, and then on this one we can put like a margin 8, and then the label will go, let's put a vertical container, a VBox container, and then put the label in there. And let's see, text. Oh, see, this is different. I should have thought about this first. Credits. Not quite what I had in mind. So text is there. BB code. Don't know what that means. Visible characters -0. The restricted number of characters displayed in the label. If minus, all characters will be displayed. Okay, that's good. Between 1 and 0. Yeah. Tab size. Credits. Hello. Interesting that it's not showing. Let's see if I play the scene. Sorry, I had to do a quick pause there. Got some drilling upstairs. Okay, I did some reading. Didn't help much. I got the Godot docs open here. So BB code, silly me, is this stuff. Totally forgot about that. But I did find the size flags. If I set it to expand and fill, it fills the available space, showing the text that I had over there. Now, I'm not too familiar with BB code. I haven't used it much. Mostly a markdown user myself. What is that? So let's remove this one and see if I say I just saw a checkbox that says fit content height. Yeah, there we go. We can do this. And if I do bold hello world and I enable BB code, I don't really see a difference. I think it's because the font doesn't support it. Yeah. Okay, so let's disable that and let's just go with credits. Special thanks to the following people. And then I should probably just center this, right? Because we center everything. So let's shrink center. Oh no, that's not right. We want to center the text. Expand. That should be at the top. Ooh. Yeah, see, I still don't know how this stuff works. Don't need. Oh, so expand takes it to the bottom. That's right. Let's see. Let's go to the docs and look for center. So they say I'm supposed to use that. Align center equals 1. Align. No. Don't see align centered. Lots of stuff to click on. Suppose this is when you don't know the user interface of your program well enough. You take forever to do the simplest things like centering the text. Yeah, I installed a sprite through Steam, so Steam has to run in the background. It's so frustrating. Same for Godot. I shouldn't have done that, but I did. Okay. So who do I have to thank here? It's the Udemy guy. I'll get his name later. It's also the music and art. I'll think about this because I might not use the art. Art and sounds. And my dog. This is a lot shorter than I thought it would be. Maybe I don't need credits. Maybe if I just make it a little scene from the options menu. Yeah, I might do that. And then, because, you know, let's get out. Then I'll figure out how to center this later. I think that's a good start. Okay, so I'll stop there. I'll get the credits done, and in the next log we can look at what I came up with in the end. And that's that.